Well, the Oklahoma Sooners close out their season on a positive note. 31-14 over Iowa in the Insight Bowl. And look, as a Sooner fan, we know that this is not the bowl game we wanted the Sooners to play in, but I think almost every Sooner fan would agree that this is the bowl game that they deserve to play in based upon how they finished up the regular season. So rather than dwelling on the most recent past, which was the disappointments to Tech, Baylor, and of course the embarrassing defeat at the hands of Oklahoma State, the way the Cowboys dominated that night, it was time for the Sooners to focus on the present to make a better future. And at one point in the Insight Bowl against a very gritty Iowa team, as we found out, up 21-0, it looked like the Sooners were just about ready to pack their bags and head back to Norman with victory in hand. But Iowa didn't quit, and you do have to give the Hawkeyes credit. You have to give them credit for fighting. You have to give them credit for making it a ball game with about 6 minutes to go, and they're only down 21-14. But thank goodness for the good kickoff return by Brennan Clay, and then thank goodness that Michael Honeycutt, we'll talk about in a little bit, came through with the field goal that put the game out of reach. This was a ball game, no question. Offensively, it was very hard to watch because both offenses had difficult times, especially in the first half. But Oklahoma's D meant victory in this game. I thought for them, even though Iowa, no disrespect to Kirk Ferentz and the Hawkeye program, that offense is about as plain Jane vanilla as I've seen in a long time. And maybe it's because people around these parts are used to Big 12 offenses putting up points and being creative. And let's face it, Iowa's offense is none of the above when it comes to creativity, when it comes to putting a lot of points on the board. And just like I had questions with play calling from Josh Heupel, I had even bigger play calling questions about Iowa. But the defenses for both teams, you have to commend them, did a good job. And to me, the MVP of this game was no doubt Jamell Fleming. The defensive back made terrific plays from quarter one all the way to the end. And you really have to give it up to him. The interception that he had early on, which set up Oklahoma's first touchdown. It's a good thing that happened because the OU offense was really struggling in that first half. Struggling big time with the passing game. Iowa was even able to get a couple of sacks on Landry without even blitzing, just able to get pressure from their front four. And the way I was thinking at halftime, even though it was 14-0 and the Sooners had that two-score lead, I was thinking, the Sooners' defense is basically winning this game, and they're going to have to keep doing that because at that point I had little faith that the OU offense, with only 89 yards total offense in the first half, was going to be able to do much of anything for the remainder of the game. But it's a good thing, again, that the defense did their part in the first two quarters because even though it was 14-0, you would have never have known it by the way OU's offense was playing. And then, as we mentioned in the second half, one heck of a job by the Sooners on that third quarter drive, getting things going. And Landry Jones finally got a touchdown pass. By the way, is this the last game for Landry Jones? Will he go on to the NFL? He'll, of course, make that official pretty soon. But if it was his last game, thank you, Landry, for a terrific career. He got a lot of comparisons to maybe the best quarterback OU's ever had in Sam Bradford. He always had to try to get that monkey off his back. And I think considering who he followed and considering the fact that he followed the greatest quarterback in the history of the program, Landry, I thought, really held his own. I really did throughout his career. Got better every year. And if he decides to go pro, he will be a first-round pick with Matt Barkley coming back next year for USC. It looks like Landry Jones will be one of the first three quarterbacks picked in the upcoming draft, which has got to spell first-round draft pick money for him. But for the Sooners, the defense did come through. And again, this is a ball game that they didn't want to play in. They knew that they were better than this Insight Bowl game. But they took the challenge head on, and they were able to handle Iowa, including holding off that late rally. And let's go ahead and talk about those four keys of the game that we highlighted on the Bowl Matchup Show. Key number one, be able to handle Iowa's top nut. We're talking about the receiver, McNutt. And I'm going to go A-. Jamell Fleming, again, was all over McNutt all the way through this game. And I know McNutt wasn't playing 100% during the game, but still can't take away from the effort of Fleming. That first quarter interception that Fleming had, it was from the coverage of McNutt. And for the most part, McNutt was not a factor. He was Iowa's best offensive player and leading receiver, and he was really a non-factor on this night. Key number 2, the Oklahoma ground game, get it back. I'm going to go C-. In the first half especially, the ground game was terrible, but at least the Belldozer formation did provide for 3 of Oklahoma's 4 touchdowns in the game, including all 3 rushing TDs by Blake Bell. So that was pivotal. Key number 3, who's going to step up for OU as far as the receivers? I'm going to go C- in this situation because the receiving department, it wasn't one of their best nights. Kenny Stills dropping a sure touchdown pass off a nicely thrown ball by Landry Jones in the third quarter. But it was nice to see Camille Jackson, the freshman, get 3 catches. I know it's only 3 catches, but 2 of those catches occurred on OU's first long scoring touchdown drive of the night. And then Jackson had another nice catch later on, and OU would eventually score a touchdown off of that. So Jackson playing his best game of the year, in my opinion, for the Sooners. And then key number 4, we're talking about the kicker, Michael Honeycutt, a cut above. I'll go A in this situation. I know it was just 1 kick, but it was 21-14. The Sooners, with Iowa having a lot of momentum, the Sooners needed that field goal. It's about 4 minutes to go in the game to put the game out of reach, and Honeycutt just got that ball inside the left upright. That was a big moment for the Sooners because that moved the lead from 7 to 10. At that point, you felt pretty good that the Sooners were going to win the game. I think that kick was with about 2.5 minutes to go. But regardless, it was the only kick that Honeycutt had as far as field goals, but it was all the Sooners would need in that situation, needing to get that lead back to double digits, and they did just that. So for Iowa, they closed out their year at 7-6. But again, you have to give the Hawkeyes credit. They were down 21-0. Vanderberg, the quarterback, who I thought was bad in the first half, the second half played much better and gave his team at least an opportunity to perhaps be thinking upset in those final minutes before OU responded. And for the Sooners, 10-3, not what they had envisioned from the start of the season, but at least they close out their year with the win. And we'll see what Landry Jones decides. And by the way, the final game for several seniors, including Travis Lewis. Travis, thank you for your contributions. And of course, Ryan Broyles, we knew that it was going to be his last game after the A&M game, which he got seriously hurt. Sooners ground game, I think next year will be just fine with Whaley coming back from injury. And Alex Ross, the Jinx running back, I think will play next year as a freshman. You're going to hear a lot of things about him. Shepard, the receiver from Heritage Hall, should make an impact as well. And hopefully Trey McGuire can get his academics straightened out so that he can contribute for the Sooners. And we will see. Receiving core, they're going to need help there. We'll see if Oklahoma next season can get back to being on top of the Big 12. But they get the win, 31-14 over Iowa. Of course, it's our last show of the year, so I want to say thank you to all of you for watching throughout the season, especially for this one, and to all the Sooner fans. I know it wasn't the season that Sooner fans had envisioned, but ending your year with the win is sure beats ending it with a loss. 10-3. A lot of programs would celebrate for 10-3. And for the non-OU Sooner fans who've been watching me for a while, thank you for watching. For Nathan, for KSU, been one of my biggest subscribers. I was happy to see that his Wildcats got to the Cotton Bowl. Good luck against Arkansas. And for the OSU fans, of course, going to Glendale to play Stanford. And good luck to Missouri and Texas A&M heading to the SEC. And again, whether you're a Sooner fan or not, thank you for watching throughout this season and throughout the years if you have been. Again, the Sooners, Insight Bowl champions, 31-14 over Iowa. For the final time ever, Boomer Sooner. Okay.